to get money when it comes to our business, but are you clear on the sales cycles for you to secure the bag for your business? In this video, we're going to explore what are the stages of the sales cycle. When I think of the stages, there's 6 that come to mind. Okay, stick with me, you ready? So those stages to me are attraction, discovery, proposal, close, handoff, and nurture. But we're going to explore those and dive deeper with you. Today, I have my special guest, our lead coach and trainer at the Big Money Movement, Cheryl Parks. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I am great. I'm great. This is one of my favorite topics.
Absolutely.
When I think of first the attraction stage, this is the stage that most people love. This is really the marketing stage. It's putting yourself out there, taking up space, publishing content, sharing insights, and just compelling and attracting your ideal buyer to you. So this is what I feel like most entrepreneurs spend their time in. When we think of how to attract your buyers, here are some best practices. You want to think about what are the problems that your buyer is facing. I call it the status quo, qualify and quantify the cost of the status quo. So what are they feeling? What are they experiencing in business as usual? And how can you publish insights or just create experiences where you're adding value to your buyer and compelling them to you? So these are really a lot of your marketing efforts. I know in the Big Money Movement, one of the things that has caught like wildfire is that so many of our members are doing executive roundtables.
Yes.
And it's a way that they bring their buyers together in one room and they have this peer conversation about just best practices, challenges or obstacles that they're facing. And it perfectly positions our clients as the go-to thought leader and thus attracts more buyers to them.
Yes.
Now, once you've attracted your buyer, the goal is to convert them to the next stage, which is the discovery stage, which is Cheryl's zone of genius. Cheryl. I know this is one of your favorite topics. You want to tell us more about the discovery stage?
Yes. I love the discovery stage because I think we both believe that this is where the deal is won.
Yes.
Literally, this is where the deal is won. Like, if you're able to ask really good, illuminating questions that provide insight, you become known as the thought leader, the advisor, the trusted advisor. I always used to look at it like I need to understand what I would want to know if I were on the other side of the desk or the Zoom call, right?
Right.
So what do I want to know? What do I want to understand? What are some of the things that I would want to flesh out with someone if I were going to invest in a solution with them? So asking really great illuminating questions is key. Also, a soft skill, really understanding who's in the room. A lot of times we miss the opportunity because we don't understand that in these days in corporate in corporate sales, there's a team that's making a buying decision, whether or not they're in the room or not. So you could be meeting with one person, but it's likely there are 2 or 3 other people at least behind the scenes. If you don't understand who the influencer is, who's the champion, who's the influencer, who's the executive sponsor, who is the naysayer, a lot of times there are corporate buyers that don't want to make a move. Maybe they've already made several decisions. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. And so there's a naysayer in the room. So you need to just understand who the buyers are, what their informal positions are, and understand that those positions can change.
Yes.
And I will add this, the team always equals 1. So if you're sitting in a room with 5 people, the team equals 1.
Tell me more what that means.
Consensus. So that is part of the buyer's job today, is to actually form a consensus around the investment in the solution. So if there's no consensus, you have no deal.
Oh my gosh, that makes me think of one of our clients in the Big Money Movement who kind of just had the wind knocked out of her because she was really excited. She was having discovery with one particular buyer. That buyer was an advocate, a champion for her coming in to create change with her solution. And she was super excited. And then she got to the proposal stage. And all of a sudden, the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer, showed up on this call. She had never met with the CMO before, and the CMO was not aligned with her solution.
Right.
So now what she thought was a slam dunk, of course we're going to secure the business, became all of a sudden we're starting from scratch because what I'm presenting is not appealing to the CMO, thus we don't have consensus.
Yes.
So I love that you brought that up, and that parlays perfectly to the next stage, which is the proposal stage, or what I sometimes call the presentation stage. So once you've gone through deep discovery and you understand the needs, what they're looking to invest in, what that solution should look like, and you have all of these illuminating questions that you've asked and thus had a consensus on.
Yes.
And now it's all about what are the options that I'm going to propose to my buyer. In the proposal stage, I think of Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein said, if I had 60 minutes to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and 5 minutes on the solution.
Yes.
And that's really how we should present our solutions to the buyer. It really should be about, here's what I heard from you. Here's the obstacles you face.
Right.
Here are your goals and objectives. Here's what your status quo looks like. Here's the value of this desired future state or this transformation. And based on that, here are my suggestions or ideas for how I can get you to that final destination.
Yes.
And then seeing if the buyer agrees with that. What we found in our particular proprietary way of proposing solutions is that when you clearly articulate their status quo, business as usual, what they're facing, what their goals are, what they've tried before, what their obstacles have been, we know that the better that you're able to articulate someone's problems, the higher propensity for them to trust your solution. And so really in the proposal phase, it's less about you and more about your buyer.
Yes, absolutely. Does this sound like dating to anyone?
Listen. If you can date,
You can sell.
or if you can sell, maybe your
can
love life
date.
gets
Yeah,
better.
I
Which
don't
one?
know.
We don't know
One
which
or
one
the
it
other.
is.
Chicken and egg.
But like they correlate, right? And I
Yes.
definitely think that the sales process is synonymous to dating.
It really
right?
is. It really is. It's the courtship. You talked about the attraction stage. That would be courtship,
Yes.
right? And then you get to the area where you're doing discovery, right? So we've all been there. How many sisters do you have? How many brothers? Where are you from? We've been there. So that's your discovery phase. But you want to ask illuminating questions, not factual questions. You want to understand what the impact of that question is. And then, as you mentioned, you get to the proposal stage or the presentation stage, where now it's like, hey, what do you think? Right?
You gonna put a ring on it?
That's right. Me and you, or what are we doing? So, and then you go to the next stage, right? So, which is the close, right? So that is the
Yes.
That's the question.
That's your marriage license. I like
right.
this. Let's just make up the
Just keep
dating
going.
scenario.
Yes.
So I propose. I'm like, this is the life I know that you want. I'm offering that life to you. And the close is where we put the terms and conditions on this thing. It's when we go to the courthouse, right? So really your close should be us agreeing to a solution and then finalizing it with the legal agreement, scope of work, MSA, SLA. MSA stands for Master Service Agreement. SLA stands for Service Level Agreement.
Like,
Let me
slow
just
down.
give you those acronyms. But really the close is just terms and conditions. And sometimes for our clients, because we coach entrepreneurs to land corporate clients, this is where there's sometimes a lag, right? So
Yes.
we might be excited about the solution, but we might need to agree on the terms, right? The payment methods, the scope of work, and just like the fine print.
Yes.
But once we've landed that, too often we think the sales cycle is over when we get the agreement. There's still a couple more steps. Let's touch on those quickly. Do you mind talking about the handoff and the nurture cycles?
Yes. So in the handoff, you want to be sure that it's not a restart or a reboot, right?
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that maybe you have a team member and or you have a way that you're going to position the delivery of your service.
Yeah.
If you're delivering it by yourself, set expectations, right? So chances are when you were in the sales cycle, when you were quoting, all attention was on them. And as you're delivering, you're also delivering to other clients that you have.
Yeah.
So you'll need to set the expectation in terms of how available you're going to be, what your turn time is in response, right? So you ask me a question and I'm right there, or just give me 24 hours, make sure that I get back to you, at least to let you know that I'll have an answer, things like that. So if you do have a team, the handoff looks like this. You might want to introduce the team member prior to getting to the proposal, the marriage proposal and or contract. And you might want to bring them in early, and then they could be a secondary point of contact. Maybe you copy them on emails or have some type of channel that you're using for communication. And then as you get to the handoff, then it becomes a switch so that the person that was doing the sales leading now becomes secondary, and now the person takes over and becomes the point person. So that's really the way I've seen it, which is like it's a nice transition, and then no one's surprised. You're not introducing someone brand new right after the contract, and all of those great things. So that's really what I've seen that works really well
In the handoff.
in the handoff. Yeah, and our members do it exquisitely because they're very focused on what it looks like, what the customer experience should be like.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all it's about. It's
Yes.
not about how you're managing team members or if you have someone to bring in, or it's just about the customer experience.
Yeah.
Because you've done such a great job selling, you don't want to lose them at the handoff.
And why it's so critical to sales is because when we look at professional service firms or consultants, which is who we work with often, it's not just about landing new business, it's about retention and expansion of business. And so the beauty of landing corporate clients is one corporate client can be a revenue marker for your business for 5 years or more. So you want to make sure that once you close the business, that how you deliver on the service is stellar so you can retain that client.
Absolutely. I wish you could say that again.
Okay.
I literally think that is the key because not only will you get referrals, there's a high chance that you'll get referrals, and referrals close at a higher rate than new business,
faster.
right? Mm-hmm. And then in the second piece of it is, as Liz mentioned, you'll have a longer life cycle with the client.
Yep.
So what you want to make sure of is that you're delivering in excellence.
Yes.
So that they'll continue because they'll continue to buy from you as the market changes and you keep your eyes and ears open and you begin delivering new service levels and service lines. They'll continue to buy from you. And what you want is not just repeat business, you want loyalty.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it. So finally is nurture. You want to touch on that?
Yes. So nurture is key because unfortunately, everyone's not going to come into your client base, right? There are going to be people and companies that just need more time. There are going to be changes that happen. Maybe someone leaves the organization, an initiative gets put on hold, funding, a pandemic. All of the things. Yeah. So as you're going through it, you want to make sure that you have some cadence for how you keep in touch with your clients.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, what you don't want to happen is you spent all this time in the sales cycle, right? Courting and doing all the things, and then it doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden you go away. Yes. Because that is, you want a return on your energy. So everyone talks about a return on investment, but return on energy is as important when you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, and even a small business owner.
I have a pet peeve of people who call me when they want something. Like that is the worst. Like there are just certain people that like when the phone rings, I'm like, I ain't heard from you in 3 months. I know you calling me because you want something.
I think the saying is if you're not begging, you're bumming. That's what I've heard.
Listen, I believe it. And you don't want to be that person.
No.
That's why having a plan for nurture is so critical because you want to make sure that you're consistently nurturing people and relationships so that over time we can earn the right to do business with them.
Yes.
But if you forget about people and then you reach out only when you want to do business, that's just, it doesn't feel good for anyone. Yep. So nurture is, when someone's not ready to do business with you, it's okay to continue to nurture them. And there's so many ways that we can automate that or create systems around that. For myself, I love using Pipedrive CRM. And what I love about Pipedrive CRM is every time I, have an action, it asks me, what's the next step with this person? So if John Doe is in my CRM, Pipedrive's going to ask me, okay, you talked to John today, what's the next step? And I can automate it or program it to say, you know what, in a month, I want to send John an email. So then I can forget about it, move on, and then when that month time expands, Pipedrive will say, hey, you said you were going to send John Doe that email today, it's time. And that way I can make sure I'm continually nurturing relationships.
Yes.
Whew. That was a lot, y'all. Did you take notes? Those are the 6 stages of the sales cycle. And man, if you follow that advice, you are the creme de la creme. Now listen, you clearly see we have a lot to say about these 6 stages and we didn't even scratch the surface on Cheryl's favorite, which is discovery. So click the next video so we can continue this conversation and dive deeper into discovery. I'm LizJSimpson, this is Cheryl Parks, and we'll see you in the next video. Click it now, hurry up, I want to talk about it.